All right, so I have this intensive care audio recovery phase. It's Phaser. And it is either two phasers or a trim and a phase, so you can have biphase. There's another cool mode in here that is a hidden mode where LFO1 takes over LFO2, and that's really hip. We'll get into that. So whenever I start with a pedal that has, it's seemingly simple, but it has different functionalities. So whenever I have this, I divide and conquer. So the frequency and the depth, this is going to be for side one. I'm going to try a sine phase, sine wave, and I'm going to go to tremolo first. So I'm going to get out of the other phaser, and now this is bypassed because this light is the active light. Okay, so here's the tremolo. All right, that's pretty extreme. There's where you get the pulse. Sounds great. Now, even deeper, but a little less frequency. Awesome. A little less frequency, more deep. The light pulses so you can kind of match your playing or some ideas. You can even subdivide your playing around the light. Very cool. For me to get those kind of sounds, let's see. Now, let's get something a little more kind of, I guess, usable would be a word, instead of something that's highly affected. Okay, and then we can go through the LFOs. Okay, so now I'm going, there are 8 LFOs here, and the first 2 are random, and they sound really great. They're very inspiring for different ideas. So let's see, I'm going to go down the next one. Here's one of the random ones. I like this one with fuzz. Now, if I go a little deeper, you can hear just how much that's slicing it up here. Okay, and then instead of waiting around on it to slice it up, you increase the frequency, and it shortens the time that it happens. Now, there's no tap tempo on the phaser or the side 1, but you can tap tempo when you're in biphase. There's a handy chart I'm going to put up here, and that shows you just a quick little shortcut for these 2 dip switches, and that's pretty much how you get into these other modes. So this is a cool one. This is the first LFO. It basically goes, it starts at about 7 o'clock and goes all the way around to 5 o'clock. So when I'm saying first, I'm starting with the knob all the way over to the left, and then it goes all the way over to the right from 7 o'clock way over to 5 o'clock. So this is first position. This is cool. And I increase the frequency and the depth. That's random as well, but it's a different kind of random. Sounds great. Here's where you get this super swirly thing. The depth is maxed out. Frequency's at about 2 o'clock. Yeah, cool. Okay. Let me go back to sine because that's predictable, and I'll go through a few more of these, and I'm going to add fuzz, and I'm going to show you why I add fuzz behind the phaser. So I'm in sine wave. That's the predictable because it is an even. It is an even. And now we're going to go to phaser, and we're going to do this. So that's like your outlaw country kind of phaser, which is way cool. I dig that stuff. Sometimes those guys, a lot of those guys use phase 90s and had it turned way down, and that's just one knob. So it's kind of hard to screw up one knob, but obviously you don't have the flexibility. So if you played something slower, you'd really hear that swirl. Let's go a little deeper too. Square waves, they ramp up and they drop off, so they're chopped. They're the curve in the sine wave is clipped on the top and bottom. So this is a drastic. This you can also play things like this, like you would play a delay. That's really cool. It's fun to practice with phaser or delay in this manner because it serves as a metronome. I like doing that. It's fun. And, instead of just hearing the boring click, click of a metronome, you got this. It's more reactive. You don't write riffs using a metronome. I'm a little early. See, I need to be using my metronome practice. So let's make it a little drastic. Now that's going to be hip. Those kind of ideas are going to be really hip when you add fuzz. Now go into the biphase. Now you see this light's activated. I'm in sine wave here, so I'm going to have sine on this phaser and square wave on this phaser. And let's see, I'm going to match everything up at 12 o'clock just to where you can hear the two working with each other. So you hear that square is clipping. And you can also hear that swirl on the other one. Let's see. Let's do a ramp up on this one, so that way it's not as drastic on the clip. Let's see. Frequency. Let's make the Phaser 2 more extreme. Very cool. Now my tap tempo works on Phaser 2. When that pulse comes in, it's almost like a dotted eighth delay. That's really hip. Okay, now by phase, let's see, depth, slow frequency. You can also tap it, which I did. Yeah, so that's a couple ideas for using dual phasers and matching LFOs or mismatching LFOs. I told you can do trim and phaser. So now, let me make this obvious. Now you notice the volume drops out if I was going to come up with that little idea. So it's a little too much depth. It disappears. So I back off on the depth on this, because you don't have any problem hearing the tremolo, because that's a constant warble. But the other one, it dips down. So let's see if that fixed it. It doesn't disappear. All right, it's a little deep on the... Okay, now we're starting to get musical about it. I'm doing extreme settings to show just how you can dial them back. Let's see, depth. Let's try this LFO. Now, these LEDs simulate the wave, so you can see it when I'm in a choppy LFO. The LED gets choppy. It does all the steps. That's a good visual. It's really smart they did it that way. You can get lost for hours writing parts with one of these. I do love this random one. Now, we've gone into some things here. Let's go into the secret mode. 3 seconds. And it goes in. That's cool. I haven't spent a lot of time in secret mode. You know, you're not going to be able to just boil down everything. I can show you all the functions, but as far as like using the functions and coming up with musical ideas, that's something you'll have to live with any piece of gear on for that, because the gear is going to make you steer off somewhere else, because you'll turn a knob and there's a new sound and you're like, oh, what's that? Now what Phaser is into fuzz. Let me go to sine. A little more frequency. So it's kind of like how the Univibe works. When that swirl comes around and it pushes, it's going to push your note. And let's see. I think the Univibe's more of a ramp. Okay, that's what that's doing. Now, let's add the other phaser in. And I'm on sine UFO. You can hear the swirl and the bleats from this one. This one's fun. Now I'm in the secret mode. Fun with fuzz, fun with phaser. They both have the F sound, like fish has the F sound, but only one has an actual F in it. What about that? Yeah, this is really cool. I've got some other sounds I was able to coax out of it on my personal channel, and I put up a reel for Amelia Island as well. And I tried to find it again today, and I couldn't. So there's so many sounds in here. You just have to get into it, and you have to live with it for a minute. I'm going to flip these pedals around quickly and let you hear what fuzz sounds like into phaser. And then you'll see why, for those particular riffs, I chose phaser into fuzz. Okay, so now I've switched the order around, and I'm just in side one as a phaser. 12 o'clock, I'm on a sine wave, something predictable, a slope that is equal. And here's what that sounds like. So what's happening there is your fuzz is going into the phaser, and the envelope of the note is being manipulated by the oscillations. And the other way around, your oscillations are being amplified by the fuzz. So this is having your fuzz is being limited into the peaks and valleys of your oscillation. And when they're flipped, your oscillations are being amplified by the peaks and valleys generated from this. So this generates the peaks and valleys. So you're either reducing them or amplifying them. That's kind of a layman's way to look at it. And that's the Smashing Pumpkins Pisces Iscariot. That's that record. That's what that fuzz sounds like to me, is they're running fuzz into phaser. It's a sound. There's no wrong way. It's just that's the sound they're going for. There's no bad sounds. Maybe there's bad applications. You know, maybe you could go with a different sound for that, but it's not bad. So some of those old 70s records do it this way too, and that's cool. That's a sound. Let's biphase this because okay. Let's track that down. What is that? That's cool. So I'm in the random over here, and then I'm in sine. And let's see, frequency. Yeah, uh, depths are maxed out. Frequencies are at about 2 o'clock. Let's see what that is. That was hip the way it's ramped up, and so you cleaning up your fuzz, that doesn't translate going into a phaser. I just tried that. You don't get much. Okay, so that is the intensive care audio. I'm going to also show some close-ups of the packaging. It's really fun. These guys are having a lot of fun building this. This phaser sounds great, and it's a tremolo as well. So tremolo, bi-phase, a hidden mode, tons of features. The knobs have a ton of range in them. You'll find all kinds of really cool sounds in it. The two LFOs, really smart, very musical, and it plays well with fuzz. It plays well with, I was using delay in some of my outtakes, which are on my channel. But Amelia Island sent me a batch of time-based effects, so I'm going to be doing more time-based effects this round. So some delays, reverbs, and this phaser. So be looking out for those. I really appreciate everybody checking out the videos, leaving some really great comments, and interacting with us. Thanks to Amelia Island Fine Guitars for sending me this gear. And I'm really having fun finding sounds and sharing them with you guys. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. You guys have a great day.